There's been a lot of big wins so far in AAF history, but San Antonio defeating Birmingham might be the biggest one yet. They were able to knock off an undefeated team, leaving Orlando as the only undefeated team left, and now being a three-way tie for the third best team in the league. So it was a crucial win for them to get, as falling to 1-3 would have been very bad news. They're able to pick up a big win, and by many different ways. One of those ways was by blocking. Like on a play like this, for example, as you see, they're going to double team the defensive end on the right side of the screen. Then they're going to have their center block the nose tackle and also have their left guard move over to finish off the double team on that nose tackle and then move up to block a linebacker. And that's a very tough block for a guy to make, because you have to finish off the double team and then move up to block the linebacker, meaning it's more difficult than just a straight up one-on-one block. Everyone else on the left side of the screen has a one-on-one block, so really, that block right there is going to be the most crucial one in this play. But Cyril Richardson does a great job of finishing off the double team and moving up to get just enough of that linebacker to allow their halfback to get past the linebackers and gain a decent gain on that run. It wasn't until a defensive back came into the play to make the tackle, meaning that the offensive line did their job and they were able to pick up a big run. A play like that might not seem like that big of a deal in the moment, however those types of plays build up over the course of a game, and if you can consistently do that kind of thing, it can really help you out help you win football games. While their offense certainly had their moments, it was really San Antonio's defense that won them the game. And take a look at this play, for example. The Commanders are in a cover 3 zone, and Birmingham is going to be running these types of routes. And as you see, the one route they're going to really look for is the hook route towards the bottom half of the screen, as it's not going to be open right away, but as the receiver comes back, he will eventually get into a gap in coverage. As of right now, it looks like an iron player is pretty open, however it's worth mentioning that there's 3 Commanders all in that area. So this pretty much has to be a perfect throw from Perez if it's going to be caught, and he's going to try to take that chance. And what do you do when an opposing quarterback takes a chance and tries to hit through a small window? Well, you have to take advantage of it and hopefully intercept it. That's exactly what happens on this play, and it leads to an interception. It wasn't a perfect throw, sure, but really it had to be a perfect throw for this play to work. It was good defense all around, and that's what led to the interception. Going back to the running game for a moment, while it certainly lacked some consistency at times, I really did feel like it had its moments, like on a play like this, for example. As you see on this play, it's nothing too fancy. They're going to double team the defensive end on the top half of the screen, and each of their other linebackers will have one-on-one matchups. They can then send a tight end and receiver up to block those 2 defensive backs in the area, meaning that the next closest unblocked man will be him right there. But it's worth mentioning that even despite getting double teamed on this play, the Irons defensive end is going to do a very good job of creating pressure and closing that gap for a halfback to run through. Really on a play like this, the halfback can't break any further down to the bottom half of the screen because there will be that defensive end in the area. However, he also can't break up to the top half of the screen because there still is that safety, and he's trying to get a touchdown on this play. He's not thinking about just gaining some yards. He's trying to think touchdown. So the only really way to do that is to run straight forward and hope you can just outrun everyone and outpower everyone into the end zone. That's going to be exactly what Trey Williams does, and he rushes into the end zone for a touchdown. And while all those plays were fun, let's get into the play that actually won it. This was the onside attempt, I guess onside conversion attempt is what they're calling it. And I think it's a very interesting situation here. I mean, you know that they have to get 12 yards or the game is over. So your whole goal on this play is not let them get past the 12-yard line. So what San Antonio is going to do here is actually probably the right play call for a situation like this. It's a cover 2 man. It's nothing fancy, but it doesn't have to be. It's the right play call, and sometimes the right play call is a boring one, like this one is. However, it's worth mentioning that Birmingham is prepared for a cover 2 man to be ran. As you see, these are the routes that their receivers will be running, and there should be a route right there that could get open, as is the curl route just past the first down marker, and there's plenty of receivers running deep, meaning that San Antonio's safeties will have to potentially go deep to follow them, meaning that curl route could end up getting open. But the commander in charge of guarding him actually does a great job on this play of not giving up an inch and keeping in good coverage, which is then going to allow for really nobody to get open. At this point, it just becomes chaos mode, where Birmingham just has to try to figure something out, and it ends up just being an interception. I thought as a whole, that was really the story of this game to me, was Birmingham not being able to win their one-on-one matchups against San Antonio, especially when Birmingham was on offense and San Antonio was on defense. It really was an old school type game, where San Antonio was able to have some big runs and play great defense, which allowed them to beat the team that's now second best in the AAF. That's kind of what I like about the Alliance, honestly, is that it creates these types of old school style football games. It gives you plenty of unique games like this one was, and it's a lot of fun.